Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading. This is your next big change bonus reading. You have this Divine Matrix card and this Tender Embrace card. You could be feeling very connected at this time. Like this could represent with a person, but really I feel that you could be more connected to like the divine here, Gemini, or, connecting to your higher self more. It just feels to me, yeah, you even have the Six of Wands here. Six of Wands is definitely a card I feel that can represent kind of like being on your path, right? And I feel for a lot of you, you could be feeling more connected to your path or your journey or, what your purpose even is, whatever it is that you're doing. And that could be a big change because maybe you've been feeling disconnected or having a lack of clarity or something like that. So, that definitely looks good to me. You start with the King of Swords, and I feel the King of Swords is how you're entering into the reading. And so the King of Swords could just be you, it could be air energy. And I kind of feel like you are entering into this reading as, in your King energy here with the King of Swords. The King of Swords is a card of knowledge and wisdom. And at the end here I saw this card. It says research. It says before you make your next move, it's important to do some exploratory research so you know all possible paths you can take. So I feel with a King of Swords like this, it definitely would represent research or planning or thinking and, coming up with a solid plan. Now there's a big but here for you, Gemini. What did I call you at the beginning of this reading? I hope I called you Gemini, but now I don't know. But anyway, Gemini, you have the King of Wands. This is a big but in your reading because, having the crossing energy, which can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross with that King of Swords, I would be careful of only thinking and not taking action. So, this would really represent needing to balance action taking with learning, and needing to make sure that you're learning and then taking action on what you learned. And that's definitely what I would do with this, King of Wands energy, because crossing it would kind of say that you're, it would kind of represent not taking action or definitely needing to take action on something. So again, I would learn whatever you're learning about, but also do something with what you learned, just so you can move forward. Next, in the area of what's on your mind or on your thoughts, you have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords can represent resting, relaxing, recovering, and healing. He is hoping and praying for a blessing here. So there's a person who's blessing another person in this stained glass window. I do feel that some of you are hoping and praying for blessings. It's like I kind of feel like there are certain things that you're hoping will kind of go your way, or there are certain things that you're hoping will work out. The funny thing is that we go down to the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords can actually represent a blessing in disguise, even though it can say that something is dead, done, over with. And we will definitely look into that for you, Gemini. You also have the Hierophant here, and the Hierophant is blessing these two people in front of him. So there could be some blessings coming in for you, but I'm not so sure with that Ten of Swords. We're going to have to look into that. You have the Six of Wands in your foundation, really good card to have in your foundation. Six of Wands can say you're coming from a position of success or victory. That doesn't necessarily mean that you are having victories, but what it means is that you have the energy of being a winner, right? And that's kind of what this reading is saying to me. We even have the Ace of Swords coming up as well, and the Ace of Swords is like winning or having a victory. So I would be embracing like a winner's mindset here with the Six of Wands. I feel that will give you the best foundation at this time. These readings are meant to be timeless whenever you find them. But, again, I would say for the next period ahead at least, this is kind of like a long-term reading for you, Gemini. You're actually the only sign where I feel it's more talking about like long-term energy. This card is card number 22, and 22 is the Master Builder number. And, again, usually 22 type things or changes that we're making in our life are changes that we build. They're changes that happen over a period of time. And so they're definitely, this could be kind of like you needing to develop this winning mindset over time, or you could be making long-term changes in your life, and it could be very foundational as well with 22 being the Master Builder. So there you go. Next, in the past, which is the energy you're moving past, you have this Capricorn card. It says challenges. It says it will not always be an easy path, but if you build discipline, you will achieve your goal. Yes, so keep going. You have this Choose a Path card. It says there are many paths before you, but you may only choose one. There's definitely a choice that you're going to have to make. This is probably where that Ten of Swords is coming from in this reading. Ten of Swords can say something is dead, done, over with. And again, sometimes I think we have to completely kill off a path in our life so that we can move forward or so that we can make progress. And, that's definitely what this plus that Ten of Swords could be saying. Even the Ace of Swords cuts both ways. And the Ace of Swords represents a sacrifice. And so there's a palm frond on one side, olive branch on the other side of the Ace of Swords. Palm fronds in the tarot, they represent survivor energy. But they can also represent sacrifice. So sometimes, again, we have to let go of one path so we can make something else more successful. You have the High Priestess. The funny thing about the High Priestess is I feel like you are no longer counting on potential. The High Priestess, again, most people read her as like secrets or intuition, and she definitely represents all those things. But she is the card of unlimited potential. But intuitively, I kind of feel that you are saying it's like you're no longer counting on potential. I feel like you're looking for action with that King of Wands. And so this goes for like connections, relationships, promises people make and all that other stuff. I do feel like you are more kind of looking at the evidence, so to speak. Like if someone promises you something, you're like, okay. But, if they don't do what they promise, then you're probably going to get rid of that person, right? And so I feel like you're much more results focused. Maybe that's a better way to put it. I do feel like this is a good thing for you, Gemini, of course. I think we all should be more results focused, so not a bad thing. The other thing is you have the Empress the High Priestess and the Hierophant here. They are divine counterparts, and I look at them as very good divine counterparts as well. So there could be a person from your past that's coming in as a divine counterpart. I don't think this is like an ex-lover or anything like that. But we also have the Three of Cups here, which is a reunion. So I don't think this is anyone you've ever had a connection with. I just think it's a person that you know or have known for a while. And there definitely could, if you have a person you're interested in that you have known, then it definitely could be that person. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have the Simplicity card and this Inner Peace card. Yes, the world is very complicated right now. We need to simplify. We need to go the other direction. So I'm a big fan of keeping things as simple as possible and doing things in the most simple ways possible, because I feel that will probably help us protect our inner peace like this. This fish card, it says Inner Peace on it. I'm sorry, I'm covering it with my finger here. But my camera's reversed and I never know where to hold the cards. We'll do this. So this says Inner Peace on it, and I feel like simplicity can help you protect your inner peace. And, just straightforward solutions in life, and that's what I would focus on. You have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is a celebration. These women on this card, they're celebrating this harvest that's going on around them. And so some of you could be celebrating a harvest, but I kind of feel some of you could be celebrating a reunion. Again, this could be a person from the past for sure. But again, I don't think you ever dated this person. I think it's a person that maybe you just have known or you grew up with or something like that. So that's definitely possible for you. We are in a very important connection time right now. I would say our connections to people are going to be very important moving forward. And really, the Three of Cups is like quality, not quantity, right? So we need to make sure that the connections in our lives are really the connections that lift us up. Those are the people that come from a place of love, not fear. Those are the types of people we should be spending the most time with, and, that's really what the Three of Cups is saying in your reading. Next, in your outcome row, you have this Loss card. It says don't let a past setback define your future. Definitely stay focused on your positive outcome, as your thoughts and beliefs will directly affect your reality. There you go. You have this Research card. It says before you make your next move, it's important to do some exploratory research so you know all possible paths you can take. Gemini is very good at doing this, so I'm not too worried about that. I think Geminis are very good at kind of seeing all the ways that there are to do things, and I would just keep being a Gemini. That's it. You have the Ten of Swords in the area of the next few months. We're going to clarify this whole reading and we'll see what comes up. Ten of Swords definitely can say something is dead, done, over with, or you have to completely release something from the past. Again, he's making the symbol right here that represents a blessing, so usually the Ten of Swords, while it can be painful, we, in the future, can also realize how it's a blessing in disguise. So I wouldn't worry too much if something isn't working out. Again, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Sure, it can be painful, but it's also probably what's best. So just know that. In the area of your closest relationships, you have the Ace of Swords. Again, I do feel with the Ten of Swords and the Ace of Swords that you're probably cutting either a person or multiple people out of your life or making the sacrifice, right? But usually it's a good thing with the Ace of Swords because the Ace of Swords is like a big victory coming in for you because you made a sacrifice. And so I would, again, don't be afraid to make those sacrifices. And don't be afraid to stop doing things that aren't working. Like even outside of love, these two cards together can say you need to look at the activities that you're doing during the day and look at the things that aren't working and chop them out of your life with the Ace of Swords. That's what I would do here. I do like the Ace of Swords, in this area of the reading closest relationships. It's a very truthful card, so it can say that your connections are very truthful at this time. It's also a great card of balance, so you might be noticing that you are more drawn to people who bring balance into your life, and that's exactly what I would do with the Ace of Swords. So, there you go. You have the Hierophant in the area of your future feelings. So the Hierophant is a card of like feeling blessed, and I kind of feel like you are going to be feeling blessed in the future. Again, maybe not this second with that Ten of Swords showing up in your reading. Like I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But, I feel that you are going to see why things have worked out the way they have, and I feel like you are going to be feeling blessed that, your life is working out how it's working because it's for the best, and I definitely like that. Your outcome card is the Hermit. The Hermit can, of course, represent being stuck in hermit mode or needing to come out of hermit mode. The Hermit isn't really a bad card. I mean, he's gone through the dark night of the soul and he's found his inner light, so there is kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel, finding your inner light. But one thing I will say about the Hermit is I believe his next step is to come down from the mountain. He needs to kind of like show the world what he is made of. Like he needs to come out of isolation and show the world what he has learned through his actions. So action is very important in this reading, or your actions are very important in this reading. And it's kind of like, like I said, looking at the evidence, but you could also be creating your own evidence, right? It's like if you've been through a lot and then you become successful, you are providing evidence to the world that you have actually changed. So, that's what the Hermit could be saying. With the King of Swords and the King of Wands, you have the Death card, so a big change coming in again. Funny enough, these readings were meant to be your next big change readings, right? Not a lot of people have had like big changes going on, in which, again, sometimes in life we just don't have big changes. It just is what it is. But you are definitely one of the few signs during this set of readings that actually have these change cards showing up. You have cards that would represent making a big change in your life. So the King is dead. The Death card, and it kind of represents like a king dying in your life. And a king is like an establishment or something that you always thought to be true, or some sort of belief system that you have had. And it could be about anything. So, there your belief systems or something that has been in your life for a long time could be undergoing a transformation. But it looks like a good thing. With the Four of Swords, you have the Tower. And funny enough, the crown is falling off the top of the tower. So, like I said, your mind is changing here, or you are changing your mind about something. I would say it's almost like you're accepting a new reality here, Gemini. I actually feel pretty good about it. With the tower can be uncomfortable, as I always say. But, the tower actually always leads to the best changes because we're coming down to reality. We are accepting reality for what it is. And so, the king being dead on the Death card and the tower can represent some sort of king dying in your life. And again, that could be a belief system, a belief structure, something you always thought to be true. And it's like you're seeing the truth now, Ace of Swords. And so there definitely could be a truth coming out. But, the thing about the tower is you are being set free. You're no longer stuck inside that tower. You are now free to explore. With the Six of Wands, you have the Emperor. You're like the 10th person to get the Emperor in this exact position, which is funny, as well. The Emperor is about taking control, and the Emperor would be about you taking the lead in your life as well. The Six of Wands is a leader. He is being celebrated by the people behind him here on the card. So a lot of you could be thinking to yourself like, it's like sometimes I think in life we think, like I actually do know the best way to live. And I feel like you are saying that right here, based off of your experiences or things that you have learned. And now it's time to show with the Hermit, right? Like, I think if you've been through some difficult lessons, maybe you learned some lessons in love or business or whatever, it's like now is the time where the rubber is meeting the road for you here, Gemini. I feel like it's time for you to show the world that it is the best, the best answers or something like that. And I don't know, it feels pretty good. With the High Priestess, you have the Star. Pretty good, 'cause we have the Tower. We definitely want the Star in a reading with the Tower. Kind of softens the blow. The Star in the past can say that you went through a period of healing or you have gone through some sort of healing, and now you're kind of coming out the other side. The Star can represent having a North Star. And so we have the Star here. We also have the Star in the Hermit's Lantern. So this could represent the fact that you are kind of developing a new path for yourself or you are picking a new guiding light. The Star is like having a North Star. It's like having that one thing that you really want to accomplish in your life or having that one vision for your life. And it's almost like you're just, based off all this, it's almost like your vision has changed or the direction of your life is changing, and now it's time to start like living that new life, right? With the Three of Cups, you have the Five of Swords. Definitely could be some sort of separation that you've dealt with or, maybe even multiple people walking away from you. I do feel like saying you're right here. This guy at the front of the card, he's walking away the winner. The Five of Swords can represent winning at all costs, which is not necessarily a good thing. But at the same time, I feel sometimes we do have to walk away, right, from situations and it can still hurt. So I feel some of you maybe have walked away from something. It's like you're right, even though it hurt, right? I can't say right enough. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Judgment, the Temperance card. This basically says you can turn your frown upside down. The Temperance card is a card of alchemy. He has the power to turn a negative into a positive, or a positive into a negative. Obviously, I would turn a negative into a positive and keep it positive. And I kind of feel that's what this is saying right here, is that it would be a good time for you to turn any negative things and kind of like look at the positive. I think there's a positive in pretty much everything that we go through, even if we really have to dig to find it. But that's what I would do with the Temperance card. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Knight of Cups. Definitely someone new if you want love coming in for you, and that could be a big change for you. Especially if you've been single or if you've been like I kind of get a feeling of dissatisfaction with close connections like relationships. So this would be like a much more truthful, honest connection. Of course, with that Ace of Swords and Knight of Cups, would be a knight in shining armor. So, this could be a very refreshing type of connection. One with a person who's like much more open. The Knight of Cups is usually a little bit dreamy. So it could be a very dreamy person. Could be a person who has a lot of dreams as well. I would also say that it's probably someone who's very focused with that Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is laser-like focus. So if you're dating, and I would say it's a person who's not scattered, a person who's like moving in one direction. This person might have a North Star. Sometimes I think we attract people who kind of help us get on our path as well. And again, with the Star and then the Hermit, this could be a good thing because it could be a person that puts you on your path or helps you focus on your star, right? And that would be a good thing. And it doesn't even have to be a lover either. Like if you don't want love, or even if you do, this could just be a person who is helping you change by getting you on your path. And it could be like a mentor, a guide, something like that. Although, here you go with the Hophen, which is marriage, you have the Page of Cups. Definitely like a new admirer or a new connection coming in for you. Page of Cups is usually also very dreamy, can be very intuitive. But this could be like an admirer or a secret admirer that's kind of like coming forward. It looks like an opportunity to me. The thing with the Page of Cups is that he has this fish in the cup, and we need to grab onto that fish and make sure it doesn't escape. So this could also be about your dream life or your star, right? Your North Star. It's basically saying like you have to grab onto your dream and make it happen. And so I would make sure to do that. Same thing with a person. Like if you're, if you're attracting a person, I would make sure to turn this into reality. We have Neptune in Pisces still. Neptune will move into Aries, but it's going to retrograde back into Pisces. I don't consider a planet to actually enter a sign until it's there to stay. Even though it will go into Aries, it is going to retrograde into Pisces. So, what I would say here is that the problem with Neptune and Pisces in relationships is like the fantasy is more attractive than the reality. So you can get into like weird situations where, it's like a texting relationship or you just text a person, but you never actually meet up with the person or whatever. And those are the things I would avoid. I would bring some reality to the connection. So, make sure to do that if you want it, of course. With the Hermit, you have the Devil. It is a snake year. I literally just talked about this with Devender on her channel. We did a live together. I was talking about how, the snake energy is like positive and negative, because in Chinese astrology it's the year of the snake. And, I do think that we should not ignore warning signs about anything that is going on. So I would pay attention to warning signs just in general. I do kind of feel good about that Devil. The Devil can just be Saturn in Capricorn or Saturn, and, it could be saying that it's time to get to work and time to get to work on your star. You have this Goldfish. It says, increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. I feel both for you. So you could be really growing at this time, or at least you have the opportunity to grow. You have this Dagger. It says, fears, worries, tense situation. 5 of Swords, 10 of Swords for sure. I would be careful of tense situations, and if you need to remove yourself from a tense situation, I would, plain and simple. You have the Tower, 5 of Swords, the 10 of Swords. That would be something that you definitely should avoid, whatever it is. You have this Pig Spirit or this Pig card. It says, beware of greed. Yeah, I would definitely be aware of people who are greedy, people who are doing things for themselves only and not doing things for other people. We all, again, I think it's a little bit of a myth in life. Like, we all do things for ourselves. Everything we do really comes back on to us, right? The only reason we do things is for ourselves. So, again, I don't think it's really, we are all kind of selfish in a way. But, again, I would make sure that you're not dealing with people who are only about themselves, and that's what I would do here. You have this Well card. It says, family wishes come true. Really good family cards. You have the 3 of Cups as well, which is great for family. Even the Hierophant can be a very good family card. So, really good family stuff. You have this Owl. It says, good advice from a wise person. The Hierophant can be the teacher, King of Swords can be the mentor. So, if you need help with anything, or if you have people you look up to, it could be a great time to ask questions, to get questions answered, to learn from people, all that other stuff with the Owl card. But this is a pretty good reading for you here, Gemini. I like it. So, thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.